Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Kennedy, the Cartel with Corey Maurer, the Warpigs. We're here for, was it week 7 or week 8 now? What's the recap?
Week 9 now, right?
Well, week 8 recap. Looking forward to week 9.
Yeah.
Like this season has gone really quickly. And I'll bring this up real quick. Share screen. Pretty interesting week, actually. There was a lot of big games. A lot of them went down to like the last night, the last couple of games. You want to go through that? You're usually really good at the recap part.
For the games or the divisions?
Division, sorry.
Yeah. So Superstar Division, Nandu takes a step forward while his team takes a step back. Pulls out the win, which is a little closer than we thought it was going to be. I take the close loss, puts me a game back at 5-3. The bots we don't care about, although he would be 4-3-1 and completely in the race if he was still here. Kings 1-7. We all know his story. The Cartel squeaks it out. Goes to 6-1-1. Sticky heartbreaker drops to 4-4. Which kind of puts him in the danger zone at this point for wild card, although there's still a lot of games, so you don't ever know.
Yep.
But that is two losses in a row for him. Bullies lose 3-5. Commandos lose again 2-6. Those type of records are scary. It's scary time for those guys because we're at week 9, and let's see. Everything's a week later, so like the trading deadlines should be week 12 instead of 11 now,
right?
So we're getting close. Power Pack Division Untouchables continues it 7-1 with 6th win in a row. Biohazards again crawling back up from the depths. He's at 4-4 with his 2nd win. Bad Company wins, kind of keeping his hopes alive at 3-5. Lead Dogs drops 4 in a row after starting 2-2. He's now 2-6. So again, you're looking at 3 division leaders. 2 of them are 2 games up. Untouchables 3 games up. Cartel 1 or 2 games up, and the Blues are 1 game up. So those are all still within range, of anybody in 2nd place, but the wild cards are nuts. Because pretty much you've got me at 5-3 and everybody else is 500 or under. So if you look at it like that and you're 3-5, you're not out of it at all. Right.
And there's still a bunch of games left. There's still bye games. There's some, Derrick Henry going down certainly changes dynamics for Nandu. I mean, there's, anybody could get injured. Josh Allen could get injured in the first play of the game, and all of a sudden that changes Untouchables. There's still, this is still anybody's title, I think, this year. Obviously, There's people at the bottom that are probably gonna, look forward to 2022, whether it's the Kings. I look at Bionic though. So Bionic's average 0.4 is 89, right? Yeah. That's higher than Sticky Bandits. His points against is 91 and 91, so it's about the same. Yep. He's 2-6.
That's what I mean. But and again, mathematically, he's still not out of it. I know he kind of was like, "I'll see you guys next year," but he's 2 games back of the wild card. If the wild card is 500, he's 2 games back with a lot to go. So
yeah, and I think somebody mentioned this before. The divisions themselves only matter in that if you're in first place, I guess you play the people not in first place. If you're in that division, you play the people in that division twice. Other than that, it's really the top 6 teams point wise make it in.
Right, and what everybody's really gunning for, right, is the top 2 teams because those guys get a bye.
Right.
That's the key. Obviously, that doesn't get you a title automatically for any stretch of the imagination, but you want to have that freedom to take a week off and not have to worry about getting knocked out in the first round. So
yeah, I mean, it's you play the odds, right? So I'm looking at this site that I subscribe to that tells me percentage wise who's likely to make the playoffs, who's likely to win obviously that can change again, like you said, based on injuries or whatever. Right now, it has Untouchables, Cartel, the Blues, War Pigs, the Bots, and Sticky Bandits making the playoffs. But because the Bots can't make the playoffs, then Biohazards would slip in.
Yeah.
But as far as percentage chance of winning, it has Untouchables now at the top, 28%. It's got me at 24% chance. Honolulu Blues at 11, War Pigs at 10, the Bots at 12, which they can't win. Sticky Bandits at 8, and Biohazards at 3. So when I looked at this a month ago, when Ryan and I made our bet, the Sticky Bandits were at 1%, or maybe 1 or 2% chance. So things can change. Things can change through trades. I don't know that this necessarily takes into play. Maybe it does. Derrick Henry's injury. I know I've already said that twice today, but that's a big deal. Like now, not only is he the most expensive player in the running back in the league, but like he was 20 to 40 points every week. So maybe now he still wins, but maybe he doesn't win 135 to 100. Maybe he wins 103 to 100. So the games are going to be a bit closer now.
Well, you started to see it last week. I don't know if this was a injury that started last week or what, but if you saw this week, he didn't play as much. He was out of the game at certain points. It almost seemed like he was a decoy at times. And then the Blues as a team has completely underperformed the last 2 weeks. He didn't get 100 this week, right?
No, close. Let's see.
I don't think so, but yeah, we can go to the live scoring. But for sure, last week was his worst game of the year. Look at that. 87 is bad.
But I am glad he beat Terry, because I don't want to hear that don't get bullied again. So
right. We can stop with that. 87 for the Blues is almost 40 points under his average. And that's 2 games in a row now. And now he's lost his best player, and look at his bench.
Well, we talked about that last week. He had such a good, expensive squad that he couldn't afford to have a ton of depth, which is great if nobody gets hurt. But if somebody does get hurt, then it's the worst of both worlds, because you can't drop Derrick Henry. He'll get snapped up in a second.
Well, and now Mahomes in Kansas City, they did win yesterday, but he looks terrible.
Right.
Look at those numbers.
He's expensive.
29 for 48. Didn't even one passing touchdown.
10 yards.
275. They look bad. And that Giants are terrible. They beat him by 3 barely. So I mean, honestly, I'm sure he would get on here and argue to the end of the day. I think, honestly, unless he makes a trade here for some, which this is prime time to do this for him, right?
Right.
If he wants to be in this is when you pick up Bionic Commandos, for example, or somebody like that that's kind of on the edge but still has good players. You trade a Henry, and all of a sudden you're flush again, because scroll down, dude. Look at his bench.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, he did just get Jalen Hurts, but again, bad quarterback that puts up the numbers. Well, guess what? Now he's not putting up the numbers.
His team won 44-6. He had 103 yards throwing.
Right. But look at his bench. Who's he going to start?
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Yeah.
He's got 0 bench players that you could count on. He's got to hope that Kittle comes back, and that's it. He doesn't have anybody else. So this is what we talked about, right? You have a team that's super high scoring, super high salary. One guy gets hurt and you're screwed. That's what it looks like right now. Those are his 2 worst games of the year, back to back. He got lucky and played the bullies, because everybody likes to bully the bully. So there you go.
I mean, the bullies, Tom Brady just continues to do Tom Brady things. I don't get it, but he is good for him. I didn't want to get anywhere close to him. I thought he was going to just fall off the cliff this year, and he's been amazing.
Yep.
Although we'll get to this later, but the bullies, Tom Brady, I think, is on bye this week. So I don't know, when Tom Brady scores almost half your points and he's on bye, and you're going to have Trevor Lawrence as your starter, you're going to be back in that 60 to 70 range. You just can't win.
Nope.
Realistically with that, unless you get lucky. All right, let's go to a different game. Let's go to Sticky and Bot. This was, probably game of the week. So close, less than a point.
You can't get much closer than that, right? This would have been a tie yet last year, right? I think if they rounded up, this would have been a tie last year.
Yeah, good point.
So
it was it looked like Biohazard was out of it. I was looking at the scoring. I'm like, he's done. There's no way he can catch back up. David Johnson, not a great running back. not on a great team. They're just a fucking mess. He gets 0.3. I don't know how you get 0.3 as a starting running back in the NFL, but whatever. Chuba does what he does. Kyler had a very pedestrian day, below pedestrian, like worse than normal, obviously.
Which turned Hopkins into pedestrian as well, which killed him.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the Eagles probably won the game for him. I mean, Pittman had a good game. Pittman's the wide receiver 1, so good for him. And Debo did what Debo does, but the Eagles don't usually get 12 points. They should have get 3 or 4 points. So they must have run back a touchdown. Yeah, there you go. Fumble recovery for a touchdown. That won the game for him because it was that close. And on the Stickies side, I mean, Darrell Henderson, again, he's just doing his thing. So good for him. Elijah showed up big time for San Francisco. Mike Evans came back down to reality. 3 touchdowns in the first half. He got his touchdown. Right. It was a 30-point game. And then Justin Jefferson with 2 points.
I mean, that's the one, right? That's the one where Tim's looking at this. The whole league's looking at like, this is when we can shove it in Tim's face. This is the horrible trade you made. And Tim's got double birds going to all of us.
Yeah.
Like Eli Manning a few weeks ago and saying, oh yeah, what a horrible trade I made. The guy got 2 points and I won.
2 points. He got 9 points total between him and Zeke. Like, I would have bet $100 against that.
Dude, how does Minnesota lose to Dallas without Dak Prescott starting a quarterback from Central Michigan that nobody's ever heard of?
Those Chippewas are dangerous.
Yeah, those Chippewas. Unless they're playing Michigan State back in the day, that's, Don't
talk about Michigan State on this. We're not going to talk about that.
Who? I don't know what you're talking about.
On the bench, though, again, Sticky had Amari Cooper and Randall. He could have played. That would have won the game for him. But are you going to start any of those guys over Justin Jefferson and Mike Evans after a 3 touchdown? No, probably not. So I don't know.
Probably not. Especially, you're looking at Elijah Mitchell coming on too. So now he's got 3 running backs you can start every week with confidence. But this is when you get into the problem. This is the first time he's probably had this problem. No offense to him, but now he's made some good trades. He's got a bunch of good players sitting on the bench now. So now you get that headache of, crap, who do I start? I just screwed myself by starting a star who underperformed and I lost by a point. But bad problem, good problem to have, right?
Yeah, and he lost Tanyan to an ACL.
Oh yeah, that too.
Figure that out. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, give credit where credit's due. The team he has now is vastly superior to the team he had in week 2. Yeah. So this is on an upward trajectory, and you just got to be in the game and win a couple and make the playoffs. And then, as you know, anything can happen.
Yep. Yeah, and then the other side, it seems like I heard McCaffrey's supposed to come back this week.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. See if he can last for more than a quarter before he gets hurt again.
Yeah, and Judy's coming back, I believe, or he's back, but he should be, he's probably slowly getting back onto game speed and all that. So,
but then again, he's got Pittman rolling. Pittman obviously being targeted a ton now in the past couple of weeks. So I don't even know if he needs him anymore. You throw McCaffrey in there instead of David Johnson. All of a sudden, he's got some good numbers going.
The problem is you can't throw McCaffrey and Hubbard. So you got to put Hubbard. You got to take Hubbard out and put McCaffrey.
And Hubbard. I didn't even think about that.
You're stuck. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the matchups, right? And buys.
I mean, unless you're Terry, then you start everybody from the same team. So
I don't know. I think Judy, if he catches fire, Judy potentially could be a better play than DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Not to say it out loud. I know DeAndre's got history and legacy, amazing wide receiver, but I don't know.
Well, the one we missed here was Josh Jacobs was on a bye this week, so that's who he's going to plug in. He's going to have Jacobs and McCaffrey is who he's going to run, and there you go. So that's the lineup the rest of the year. He doesn't really have anybody else going to do anything. So
that's smart. Yeah, it all works out. We're actually Tim's flying here on Friday. We're going to hang out this weekend. We may go to the Panthers Patriots game.
Ooh, so, nice.
We go there and pay for $14 for beers and have to pee in long lines, or we stay here and watch Red Zone. And in order to, I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll see, one or the other. But all right, nice. Let's see. Did that one? Let's do Bionic Commandos Untouchables. This one was not close at all. We were hoping it would be close because we thought Tyreek, if he could go 30 points and make it a little fun at the end, but it wasn't. It just didn't happen.
This still, again, Bionic with 87. That's unfortunate. Untouchables, that's a low number. 99 is under 100. It's kind of low for him. So this was a week that that Commandos could have done something, but he's running Mac Jones as his quarterback now.
I mean,
There's
Mac
no
Jones.
way. I can't imagine. I haven't looked. There's no way this dude's averaging more than 15 points a game as a quarterback. That's bad.
No, and he's not a bad quarterback. He plays in their system, which means a lot of field goals and a lot of dinks and dunks. And
Right.
Even if he had gotten 18 points or 19 points, which is probably average for most quarterbacks, that takes us from 87 to 96. Like now you're just like one field goal away or one whatever. But you can't do that. And Kenneth Gainwell, everything said that he was going to be the guy since Miles Sanders was out, and he's going to be RB1, and he just wasn't. Boston Scott ran way better and way more than he did. So
yeah,
what are you going to do?
They put up 44 and he does nothing.
Yeah,
those are the most frustrating games.
Yep.
And then on the other side, Untouchables at halftime, I think it was halftime, Buffalo had like 3 points or something. Josh Allen had done nothing at that point, and all of a sudden he just completely blows up at the end of the game. You see his numbers passing aren't very good, 29 for 42, 249, but he ends up with 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown at the end. He gets almost 30. I mean, that wins him the game right there, because he had done nothing for a good portion of that game.
The rushing yardage and the touchdowns, 11 points. So it takes you from 29 to 18.
Yep.
Didn't have a great game, but that's why you want a rushing quarterback in this league, which I don't have, but other people do. So good for you. Jamar Chase came back down to reality. Cooper Kupp did Cooper Kupp stuff. I mean, you can get 7, 8, 10 points from everybody. You're going to be, in a conversation.
I mean, he started 2 tight ends this week.
I didn't notice that. It's funny because he doesn't.
I don't know. He didn't have anybody else healthy that could play. So this is another one that I think he's had more than his fair share of injuries this season for sure. And this bench is just full of guys that are hurt. So he doesn't really have a lot of choices anymore. He's got to start 2 tight ends.
0 points. He's got a great IR bench of running backs though. And wide receivers.
Yep.
Well, if Michael Thomas comes back off of IR and the Saints can figure out what they do with their quarterback.
Well, that's the problem, right? Who's the quarterback now? So as much as everybody laughed at Jameis, he could throw the ball at least.
They're staying with what I read was they're staying with Taysom Hill to see what he can do before they worry about bringing anybody else in.
He can't throw the ball. It's gonna be option plays and trick plays, and
for sure.
And it's not gonna work.
For sure. So maybe they'll get somebody. They have enough time. When's the trade deadline?
I don't know.
Soon, I think.
Oh, maybe it might be this week, or maybe it already just ended or something.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know. Not my problem to worry about. Let's see, we did them. Oh boy. This one's gonna hurt.
This wasn't surprising to me.
Was to me.
It wasn't surprising. That's my lowest total of the year, I believe. Even worse than my bye week. I had 98 in my bye week with 5 guys off. So the big one for me here, I had to sub a tight end in for a bye. He ends up with 0 somehow. I don't know how that happens to a guy who played pretty well the past couple of weeks and then gets nothing.
31 points.
McLaurin isn't really surprised sometimes because of who his quarterback is. That just is going to happen. And Gaskin is the same way. That's how I get screwed.
Yeah,
is Miami not knowing how to use their good running back. So
those are definitely your holes. Is Gaskin up or down? And as good as McLaurin and Deontay are, their quarterbacks aren't.
Right.
So
I mean, Deontay had like 13 targets, but he only caught 6 balls because Roethlisberger can barely throw the ball anymore.
Exactly. And then if they get a lead, heaven forbid, they just run the ball and then they're not used at all. So
yeah, I mean, I would have liked, if you scroll down, look at the bench, Tyler Boyd had a great game. That would have been great to have Burrow to Boyd, but I can't count on that. It's usually just Chase catching everything.
Yeah, there's no way you play Boyd over any of those.
No. So
Nick Folk would have what he wanted for you? No, still wouldn't want it.
Nah.
Yeah, this one I was watching it. This is a funny joke for you guys, a funny story for you guys. I was looking at my phone, and all of a sudden I saw that Corey picked up. Who'd you pick up? Mo Alley Cox.
Justin Jackson to back up
Jackson, the
Eckler, because they were saying that Eckler might not play. Yeah.
Yeah, so he picked up his backup, and I was like, "Oh shit! I wonder if Dak's gonna play. I better. Who's his backup? Who's this guy? Cooper Rush? Fuck, I don't know if I want him." I was talking to somebody else about maybe trading for Jameis Winston, same price but better quarterback, which I decided not to do, thankfully. So I got Cooper Rush, and literally I pressed like done, and I get a text within 30 seconds from Corey saying, "I was just getting ready to pick him up to fuck you. I didn't want you to get him," and then he ends up having a good game and ends up being probably the reason.
Dude, that won you the game. That won you the game right there, because I don't know who you would have had. I mean, you would have had somebody, obviously, but without that, dude, I mean, look at those numbers: 325,
Yeah,
2 touchdowns, you get 20 points from them. And that guy at halftime, again, just like Josh Allen, he had nothing. He had like 4 points or something, and all of a sudden he scores a couple times, and I'm like, well, yeah, I totally, like, I was watching something on TV, and I pick up Justin Jackson, and I'm like, hey, I wonder what's happening with Dak. They still haven't said who's his backup. I did the same thing you did, and I'm like, it wasn't like a plan, but I was like, oh, that would be, and I saw he was 0.4 or whatever he is, and I'm like, oh, that could really screw him over. That's probably a good idea. Click, and it didn't work, and I'm like, what happened? I go back, and it still doesn't say at that point, because you had just done it, that you had taken him.
I would have had to go.
That would have been really interesting.
I would have had to drop a bunch of players to pick up Daniel Jones so that I had a quarterback on Monday. It would have been a disaster. I would have lost like all my backup court running backs. Anyways, thank you, Curry, for waiting a couple of seconds for me.
Yeah, I could have just done it backwards. Like you said, I should have picked up him first and then gone and got
And Gronk threw me too, because he was supposed to play. I thought Gray's coming back. He wasn't ready and his back spasms or whatever. So I'm just trying to wait until Darren Waller can get back out there. I didn't play CeeDee Lamb because I didn't want to play him with his backup quarterback and suck twice. But then I played Cortland Sutton, who also sucked. So I was going to suck at that position no matter what. All right, that's all good. Get through that. We talked about that already. I don't want to say in a game of who cares, but
well, again, this is, again, Bad Company at 3-5 is not out of it at all. He's basically a game back of the wild card as we know it is right now. So 88 is not good. The Kings, that's got to be a season low for the entire league, probably. 52. I don't remember seeing a number that low.
At his point, how does Emmanuel Sanders get 0 points? He doesn't make sense. He's been great all season. Now all of a sudden he just disappears. Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. This is just rough. So it's kind of a gimme, unfortunately, for Mike. When you're playing the Kings right now, Bad Company goes out there. Jameis Winston tears his ACL, but still put up double digits before that happened.
I almost wish that Kabasi Kings had a good running back they could trade to Nandu to take him off and then keep him for next year and then give him a bunch of players to help bolster his arsenal. But I don't know that he has anybody that would even be.
No, that's the problem, right? It's gonna have to be. That's why I mentioned Bionic, just trying to set these guys up to trade with each other, I guess. But Bad Company is 21 from Mixon, 14 from James Conner. AJ Brown looked really good.
Yeah.
So all those guys were enough, but overall, when Jameis gets hurt, he ends up with 88. That's not great.
At the end of the day,
this was not a high-scoring week. What do we get?
If your quarterback gets hurt in the middle of the game, or anytime before the fourth quarter, you're almost for sure not going to win. Like you need to have those last-minute throws, those the garbage time, whatever. Like it's just really hard. I mean, if he had even gotten 10 more points, which is pretty easy to do, right? 98 points puts you where you can win almost any given week.
Nobody broke 100 this week, so.
I think Tua's coming along. So Tua's going to come back next. He's not coming back. He'll be the next week. He's got Waddle. He's got Parker. I think Fuller's coming back soon. Like, I like Tua. I think that might be a guy he can ride throughout the rest of the season.
Yep.
All right, that one's done. Let's do.
Bots blow out the dogs.
Continue to roll through people. Good team, fairly rounded. Godwin doing his thing. God, how bad are the Carolina Panthers right now, though?
Yeah, Darnold gets pulled, right? No, he got hurt.
He's still this week.
He got crushed. I don't know if you saw that play. He got destroyed because all of a sudden they're calling plays like option runs for him, And I'm like, no, guys, I'm sure he can run fast, but if he gets hit, he does not look like a sturdy dude, and he just got destroyed on that play.
Yeah.
Just
But they
completely
won.
blown up. So this is a bad game for Fournette, who's looked really good this year. Dearness Johnson did score, but with Chubb back, he didn't get to do as much.
Pittsburgh's tough defense too, run defense.
Yeah, Metcalf looked good. Devonta Smith did nothing. Again, how does Philly get 44 points with all their stars getting no
They just
points?
ran. They just ran everything. That's why he had 100. If your quarterback has if Hurts has 100 yards throwing, then there's no way Devontae Smith's going to have a good game because he only have 100 yards to divvy up. They ran everything. They had 3 running backs had touchdowns, I believe. Plus,
yeah, I mean, going forward again, lead dog's like 2 games back of the wild card. He will get Lamar Jackson back, who is on a bye. You know, Kareem Hunt, maybe if I forgot what his injury is. I don't know if he's coming back or not. And Kelsey, you know, again, this is the whole like the Chiefs team as a whole is just terrible right now. Kelsey gets 2 points. I mean, what?
That's part of the problem, right? When you pay top premium dollar for these players and they're anything but consistent. They're consistent, 10, 12 points, worth it, right? But you're paying $1.50 for Kelsey and you're getting 2 points. Or you're paying for Mahomes. I'm not in front of me, but it's $4 for Mahomes and he's having below average. You can't do that. Like I'd rather pay, you know, a little bit less money, maybe $2.85 or $3 and have somebody that gives me 17 points, but is always consistent. And that's the sweet spot. I think everyone's looking for that. I'm not saying something people don't already know, but I keep looking at like, would I take DeAndre Hopkins at his current price? No, it would screw up my entire wage scale for everybody else to have a guy that has a potential, but just is too many mouths to feed. It's not a good situation for that price for me.
Yep.
Opinion only. All right, let's look at next week. No one sent me an email, so I was going to make up a fake letter, be like, "Dear fantasy gays, all right, standing. Let's do live scoring. That's not his schedule. That it? Yeah. All right. So let me bring this up here. Schedules. Got it. What are your thoughts on Untouchable Sticky? This is going to be coworker boss, so this is going to be a little bit of a spite match.
Yeah, so I got right now you got Rodgers at Kansas City, Darrell Henderson, Elijah Mitchell, Zeke Elliott. You would think Justin Jefferson would have a bounce back game here. He must have set his lineup already because he's got Amari Cooper in there. Oh, Mike Evans is on a bye. That's why. So Amari Cooper versus Denver. Again, good team, good players.
No way they beat Jeff.
Let's see if what do we got? Josh Allen versus Jacksonville. That's a lot of points. Dalvin Cook, Chase Edmonds, Jamar Chase versus Cleveland. Kupp leads the league in touchdowns for the Rams. And then again, I think he's got to, does he still have to start 2? Yeah, he's going to have to start 2 tight ends unless Julio Jones comes back. I don't know, man. This looks a lot closer than you are going to think. Cause I think the Untouchables with those injury problems, I'm taking the upside. There's my upside of the week right there. I'm going sticky.
I'm going 180 degrees the other way. I don't think it's even going to be close. I think Bruni's team's going to beat him by 20.
Yeah.
Partly because I want Sticky to lose. I want him to continue to lose and not make the playoffs for my own personal reasons. But I just think Jeff's team is just, all of them have pretty easy opponents. Jeff's team is just stacked unless there's an injury. Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook together can score 70 points. So
yeah,
too consistent. So my vote's Untouchables. What's the next one? We got Biohazards, Bionic.
Yeah, and again, this is when Tim should have a full lineup, right? Assuming that McCaffrey comes back, Jacobs should be back. And then if with Debo Pittman being wide receiver 1. If Kyler Murray plays halfway as he usually does, and Hopkins does too, I don't see how he doesn't win this. If Biohazards can get a full lineup out there, then he should win this game.
100%. The only weakness he has is tight end, and as we know, you can win with 0 points apparently from your tight end. So
Yep.
should be fine. Yeah, and Bionic Commandos, Mac Jones or who's the running? He just has Mac Jones. So Mac Jones is the starting quarterback, and that's enough for me. I'm gonna go with Biohazards.
Yep.
Next one, Broad Street. We're pigs. Don't get bullied.
Don't get bullied. Yeah, hopefully I won't.
Tom Brady's on a bye, and that's enough for me. I'm gonna go work. I don't think you can win without Tom Brady.
I've got McLaurin on a bye. Not a big deal for that one, considering he doesn't do anything half the time. And looking at the rest of his lineup too, yeah, he's gonna have to start Trevor Lawrence versus Buffalo. I can't imagine that's gonna go well.
He's gonna get destroyed. Him
yeah,
or Robinson. I wouldn't start it.
I gotta take myself like this week too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Lead dogs, Kabasi Kings.
Boy.
I mean,
right now projected score is 70-62.
that's because he has Sam Darnold in. You put L. Jackson. He's got Fournette on a bye. DK Metcalf on a bye. I think the team wise, I think if Rodney has a full team, obviously I think he beats Kabasi Kings. If there was going to be an upset, if you're going to call it an upset, with Metcalf and Fournette gone, that significantly hurts his chances of scoring some good points. And we all know that Kings doesn't have a bad team. So I think if I'm gonna pick an upset, and it's not a huge upset, I'm gonna say that I got the Kings over the lead dogs on this one.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't, because I mean, lead dogs, unless he picks somebody up or makes a trade, doesn't have another running back to play unless one of these guys isn't hurt. Latavius Murray, Kareem Hunt, both hurt.
You probably could play Murray. I think Murray's going to start. Hunt's out.
Maybe.
But
yeah, I'm taking the Kings. That's probably the first pro Kings pick that we've made all year. So
I want Kings to get just enough points and wins this year to not give whoever has his first round pick a first round pick.
Yeah, he's going to screw himself out of a first round pick.
That'd be amazing. It's not his now, right? And then finally we got Bad Company and Bots. Jameis is out, so Tua's in. Antonio Gibson's out.
Half of the Bots lineup is out too.
Yeah, this is gonna be a shit salad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it a 0-0 tie. I'm not picking a winner on this one.
This is bad. Yeah, this is a bad matchup. I'm gonna take Bad Company because the Bots won't be picking up anyone if they don't have to. He's just, we're not going to do free agents or trades.
Right.
So he's going to have to play what he's got if he's got players to.
Well, let's look at this. Is Chubb back?
Yeah, he played. He just wasn't 100%, but he played. So
Chubb will take DeAndre Swift's spot, and then running wide receiver. Okay, yeah, I agree.
But James Robinson got hurt too. He got hurt and left that game too. Questionable right now for next week. So
yeah, you're probably right. It probably is Bad Company because his wide receivers are going to be Terrace Marshall and Marquez Callaway.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley decided to take a step back.
Yep.
Well,
we missed one, I think, didn't we? Didn't we miss one here?
No.
Oh yeah, we did. Yours. We didn't pick Cartel and Honolulu Blues.
That's why it's mine. I overlooked it.
Yeah. Biggest game of the week right there. Two number ones.
I'm exhausted from being game of the week and always playing our team. Can I just have like an easy game?
Nope. I
think that if there was any other week with Derrick Henry in the lineup, I've been DMing Nandu today, but I'm always afraid of that team. Without Derrick Henry, this is probably the best week to play him. So
yeah, I mean, he's already set his lineup. So unless there's a trade made, he's starting Van Jefferson at wide receiver along with Mike Williams, who's done not a lot. Robert Woods has had a good year. If Kittle comes back, it looks like he's supposed to because he's starting him. Kansas City's playing Green Bay. I can't trust Mahomes right now. They already said Prescott's good to go next week. Indy plays the Jets for Jonathan Taylor. That's a good matchup. Kamara plays Atlanta. That's a good matchup.
Yeah,
So yeah, I gotta go cartel. Gotta go cartel.
I think I agree. I'm through all of my, it was a tough couple bye weeks, but now I'm done. And as long as there's not an injury, I should be good through the season. Also, because it's a 17-week season now, and our league hasn't extended, and that means the big issue at the end of the year with people sitting the last game or whatever is going to be less of an issue. So that'll be a little more fun, a little more fair when you're playing in the finals with your team that got you there, rather than trying to pick up a third
Yep.
string quarterback in case your guy sits and all the hassle and headache that comes with that. Who wants to stop sharing this? Anything else you want to talk about the power rankings, whatever it is you call it, your all play and all that?
Yeah, we can take a peek at that real quick if you remember how to get to it.
Let me see here. You're frozen, by the way.
There we go.
All right, let's see. Is that the top? All right.
It's in the reports.
Reports.
Standings.
Standings.
Yep.
And
Power
then
rank.
Power rank.
Yep. There you go. So again, it's a little, you're in second, even with that one forfeit tie or whatever. So that tells you how far up you are, but look at the Blues dropping third now. I'm in fourth, and like I said, right here, 4-4 guys. That's the wild card. That's the wild card end right there. So Bad Company at 3-5 is not out of it. Broad Street Bullies somehow not out of it. And I will point out the sad thing is the bots. Calhoun would be right in. He would be in there. He would be actually in 5th place right now at 4-3-1, ahead of the 2 4-4s.
And had he not been over the limit, he would be maybe even in first, because you figure 100 points or so a game, he'd be at the same place that Untouchables is at.
Yeah. So again, the guys that are 3-5, you're only 1 game out of the wild card spot at the moment. Power rankings, as you see in order there. That pretty much says it all. You got the 2, 3, and 5 guys not separated by too much. What I really like is the all play record. And again, you got yours is skewed a little bit because of the forfeit, but Untouchables is just continuing to dominate that 71-13, 55-29 for the Blues, which is pretty solid drop off for him, honestly. I think if he loses this week too, that's going to be 3 bad games in a row. I'm 51-33, Biohazard's 50-34. So, again, I'm, Tim at 4-4 is just got a lot of bad luck there. But then right below it, Sticky would be 32-52. So it's almost a 20 game difference between him and Biohazards, and they have the same records. That's insane.
One thing this doesn't take into consideration is your record season long is not indicative of your future record, because all of a sudden you get a trade. Right. So that could, his team's probably better than that now.
Yeah, for sure. But you still got to win.
Yeah, I get it.
Still got to win.
Cool. Hey, listen, sorry this was a little bit lower energy. I'm tired. Corey's got some stuff going on at home. So we appreciate you guys listening in, and good luck to everybody except for Nandu. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
See you, Corey.